Hey there, Cousin Olivia. Hi, Cousin Olivia's friends. My name is John, and I live in Omaha, Nebraska. I received your questions here for your GSA group. I'm going to sit here and talk a little bit about my coming out experience, how life has been like in the Midwest, how it was like growing up, what it's kind of like now. So, yeah, I hope it's interesting and not too boring. I'll try to be quick about it. So, let's see here. I'm just going to go down the list. Who did you need to talk to when you needed to talk about yourself? I was kind of a quiet and shy kid, so I actually stayed to myself quite often. Didn't really talk to a whole lot of people about myself. I did have a good core group of friends that were just awesome, but I kept to myself generally, and I was more interested in hearing about other people than really discussing myself because I was definitely not out at all, and I kind of wanted to stay that way. So, yeah, I did whatever I could to just kind of keep that information under wrap and make it more about other people than about me. But the society and community that I lived in, there was a lot of changes going on. I grew up in the 90s, the later part of the 90s, and, we saw a lot of changes in the LGBT community and, actually just, being more visual, especially with like the gay straight alliances that popped up all over the country when I was in school. Unfortunately, I didn't have one of those in my own school, and to be quite honest, I don't think I probably would have gone to it had we had one because I was so just so closeted and just didn't want the guilt by association, I guess. Our community was very rural. Um, I didn't grow up in Omaha. I grew up in a kind of a rural town about 2 hours away, and I actually grew up on a farm. So that kind of gives you the stereotypical view of Nebraska: cows, corn, all that stuff. So yeah, I fit into that category, and there really wasn't a whole lot of diversity in my community at all. And anything that was a little bit different, people tend to be kind of scared of what they don't know. So, anything different was a little hard for a lot of people to accept. So that was had a lot to do with why I stayed closeted for so long. Let's see the time period and how I actually did come out. I came out. I want to say the year after high school. I couldn't have been myself in high school. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I just didn't really know myself. I knew that I was gay, and I didn't really know anything about that. I didn't know any other gay people. The only thing that I really had to go off of was like characters on TV, movies, queer bands. I love music, so I was really into that. Anything that I could find, I really kind of just was all over it, and that was my exposure. I remember Ellen. I was still pretty young when Ellen came out on her sitcom, but that's really the first idea that I ever had of other gay people. I mean, I don't think I knew I was gay at that time. I was so young, but I do remember that. We weren't allowed to watch the show anymore because you don't support homosexuality or lesbianism or anything like that. So it was kind of a negative thing for me to see, right off the bat. So that was also another, instance why I would not want to be out, when I was younger. Life before coming out, it was lonely, but I did have a good core group of friends, like I had said, and you know, I didn't talk about my sexuality, but they were people that I could count on. And do you know what? I'm still friends with a lot of them today, and they know the real me, and they've stuck around and they've supported me through all of it. So that's awesome. My family has come a long way too. It was pretty hard at the beginning. Like I said, people are scared of what they don't know, and so it's taken a long time, and it's been a really big learning experience for my entire family. But I think everybody's on the boat now. So let's see here. How did I find allies? I just ended up I don't know. I just ended up finding people out in the community. Once we got on the internet was fairly new when I was a teenager. So, that was a big way for gay people to meet each other, especially in a small rural community. So, you know what? That's pretty much it. I don't want to go too much longer. I don't want to take up all your time, but I hope that, kind of shed some light on, the 90s in the Midwest of a person coming out. So I really appreciate what you guys do by putting yourself out there, having the discussions, and, being visible to other kids that might not have come out as soon as you did, just like myself. So keep fighting the good fight. I'm proud of you guys, and I hope you have a great time. Thanks.